Do you know someone who is a friend but also a role model? I certainly do. His name is Randy Cordes, and he has been a great friend and someone I've learned a great deal from over the past 2 years I have known him. I first met Randy when I contacted him for a sponsorship for a club I'm involved in. He invited me to take a tour of his business, and he was generous enough to help us out with some supplies. As we were sitting in his office discussing what our team was up to and what his business was doing in that time, the topic of faith came up. He asked me if I was a Christian, and I replied that yes, indeed I was, and he replied that he was as well. We went on to have a great discussion about our faith. It was a mutual connection that sparked a friendship. He later offered me a job, and I was able to work with Randy on his business. Over the past 2 years, I have come to admire several characteristics that Randy possesses. First, Randy is an extremely generous man. He has helped our team numerous times in several different ways. Whether it be financially or through some raw materials, he always loves to help us out. As I have worked for Randy, he has been very gracious and loves to, quote, share the profits. He frequently lends people his tools and equipment and likes to quote Acts 4:32, where it talks about the early believers sharing their belongings. Randy also has a great sense of humor. When you call him up on the telephone, he greets you with, "How on earth are you, for heaven's sake?" Or when he's leaving, he'll say, "I'll call you if you need anything." One day he asked me to cut down a tree in his backyard, and I was out there for a few hours doing that, and I came in and he asked me how I made out with the elm tree. Well, we both stood there kind of knowing what each other were thinking, and then just bursted out into just hysterical laughter. Randy has a joyful heart, and I believe that comes from his faith in Jesus Christ. He is not afraid to express his faith, and he trusts the Lord with his business. He lets God provide, and even in slow times, he is joyful and upbeat as ever. Randy is conservative in his political beliefs, as I am as well, and we have had some great discussions about the political arena and the issues of the day. Before I was able to drive, Randy would drive me home, and we would talk about our political beliefs on the ride home, and both of us enjoyed that immensely. He is always considerate and asks about our family and what we're up to lately. He creates an environment in his business that is comfortable and very friendly, and I believe that's because of his great characteristics. I've grown a lot by being around Randy Cordes. Along with being my friend, he's also my boss. More importantly, he's a role model for me. He's hardworking, he's generous, he's joyful, and a conservative. And I believe these are the makings of a great Christian man.